Hi, I'm Curious Vedan, and welcome to season 6 of my podcast. Today, my guest is Anand Siva, who is the CEO of India Animal Fund. India Animal Fund, or IAF, is a newly launched fundraising platform for animal welfare causes. Anand, other than this, is a world renowned marketing and advertising professional. Hi, Anand. Welcome to my show.
Hi, Vedan. Thank you for having me in your show.
Yes, thank you for coming. I'm very excited to interview you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So, Anand, I'm curious to know why and when was IAF set up?
India Animal Fund was set up with a very definite purpose, Vedan, right? We identified a need to get a lot more organized, a lot more professional, and a lot more scaled up if we wanted to bring in funds into the animal welfare space so that we could increase the size of projects, get speed, get scale, and make a lasting impact on animal suffering. We wanted to do this at scale, and it could be possible only when we brought this together on a platform and made this ecosystem larger. And that's why we started. India Animal Fund is technically about 20 days old. We launched on the 30th of October. We had a lovely event on NDTV with a lot of celebrities and corporate leaders supporting us. So that's how we got started. So 20 days old is how old we are.
Wow, that's very, very new. I actually saw my father on the NDTV launch event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very long and it was very nice to see him on TV.
Lovely.
What are the different animal welfare causes that IAF supports?
India Animal Fund supports a lot of causes. The underlying fact or the underlying requirement is that it must reduce animal suffering, right? So we work with animals that are kept in cages, like battery hens, pigs in crates, cows in dairies, right? Hundreds and thousands and billions of animals that are kept as livestock for human food. So we want to release them from the cages, get birds to be cage free, get people to understand that there is cruelty when animals are kept in livestock. We want to work with people who can help change that. We work with people who want to reduce the number of animals that are used for testing in laboratories. Right? How do you take away animals from testing conditions and replace them with artificial tissues, new technology, simulators, and so on and so forth. So you take away animals that are kept in captivity and put through a lot of torture for testing for drugs, right? We work with organizations who are supporting community animals. You see the hundreds and thousands of dogs and cats dying on the street, cattle going around completely homeless, struggling to eat, struggling with illnesses, right? People who use dogs for illegal breeding and then abandon them. So we work with organizations that support these community animals, right? And then we also work with people who are reducing the number of wild animals that are being caught and poached and kept for entertainment, medicinal reasons, fun, and so on and so forth. So how do we reduce the number of animals that are illegally transported and poached, right? And then finally, Vedant, we work with organizations that are supporting a plant-based ecosystem, which means organizations that reduce animals on the plate and increase plant-based food, which is not just more nutritious, but as we said, reduces animal suffering largely. So these are the causes that we are focused on.
Wow, those are a lot of causes. I'm sure those animals will be very thankful for you.
They will be thankful to you too for taking this message across to your audience.
Mm-hmm. And dear listeners, please help animals.
That's a nice call. Yeah, you can ask them to come on to indiaanimalfund.org and make generous contributions to help us in these causes.
Mm-hmm. What are India Animal Fund's greatest challenges?
Greatest challenges. Well, it starts with the availability of funds, right? Uh, I don't know if you're aware, Vedant, right? But if you look at the money that is available to help human causes, right? It's humongous. It runs into hundreds of crores, right? But when it comes to setting aside and money for animal causes, philanthropic contributions to help animals, it's a minuscule fraction. So the biggest challenge is going to be making people aware of their responsibility to support organizations like India Animal Fund and a lot of other organizations, NGO partners, as we call them, to see how we could increase the money coming into the space and therefore reduce animal suffering. That would be, in my opinion, the biggest challenge. The second biggest challenge for us would be to find the right kind of talent to join the sector. Right, we need people who not just understand and work for animals, but also people who believe that there is a job and there is a responsibility to do it here, and we get the right kind of talent to work in the space. In my opinion, these would be the two largest challenges for India Animal Fund. So there are a lot more, but I would sort of stop there as the two largest challenges.
How do you find people with talent?
How do you find people? The people with talent are there, right? I think how do you sensitize these people to understanding animal causes and getting into that space, understanding the vertical better, understanding a lot of nuances of what goes on behind the scenes, etc., is the challenge, right? We look at people like us on the board and already in India Animal Fund. We're all people with a very, very strong corporate background. I spent 32 years working. And I know there are hundreds and thousands of people who exist the same space. The fact is, how many of them would want to make a big change in their own lifestyle before they can propagate this lifestyle to people through the Animal Fund? So getting the right kind of mindset, people with both their hearts and brains in the right places is the challenge.
Now I understand. And what's the minimum age to join?
Oh, we would love a 9-year-old podcast host to join us and be our champion of conducting podcasts. There isn't an age limit to join India Animal Fund. But of course, if you want to be paid a salary for the work you do, as per government rules, we would be extremely culpable of child labor if we brought you in as an employee. So as a volunteer, as a sponsor, we'd love to have you on board as an India Animal Fund executive. But there isn't an age beyond the legal age to join India Animal Fund.
Okay, that would be fun to join.
Thank you. Looking forward to having you in our team.
Yeah.
The India Animal Fund organization and the animals need you. Thank you.
Can you share some of the success stories of IAF?
Success stories of IAF. Okay. Well, in 20 days, I think there's just that much that I can call as a success story. But I think the biggest success, I think the first success I should put on record is that we managed to go on national television, prime time, mainstream at media, and talk about animal suffering completely unabashedly to show the kind of cruelty that happens in the animal cruelty space. I think is phenomenally big, and that was the first time that we managed to do that. So to me, that's a success. Without the pedigree of India Animal Fund, we wouldn't have managed to do that. Our second success stories are around people who came forward to support us. When you get somebody like Sir Paul McCartney, Alicia Silverstone, you've got Madhuri Dixit, Dia Mirza, and a lot of others, subject matter experts, all of them coming together and putting together such vociferous voices against animal cruelty on national television. To me, that's a success. And the third success, Vedant, was a number of organizations that have come forward and pledged to support us. We got a lot of support before and during and after the show. And thankfully, we wanted to go live with a lot of projects that we intended to launch. So support from the corporate world and from individuals who come forward to support us would be my third success story. And I hope you will call me back for a podcast a year later and I'm able to share more success stories.
Yeah, congratulations on getting so much support. How can people support Indian Animal Fund?
India Animal Fund needs the support of people. The first support is, of course, doing what we set up this platform for, which is to drive funds into a platform, which we could then deploy for various causes and projects. So the first line of support is to get them into the platform to donate, and not just donate once, donate regularly and donate generously. That's the first starting point. The second is there's a lot of ways that people can support in their own ways, with their own skills and their areas of expertise, right? Could be illustrators, could be graphic designers, could be research specialists, plenty of professional capabilities that we need. So people who have this spare time, who are willing to put in a few extra hours for animals, can come forward and join us and bring in their subject matter expertise to make this better. That's the second way of launching. Joining. The third, and I think something that's very significant, is to keep spreading the word. The more people we keep talking to about wanting to reduce animal cruelty, the more people we keep exposing to the cruelty that we sort of force on these animals, the kind of suffering they endure, the more awareness we can create, the more we can do to reduce it. That's the way people can support us.
I will definitely support you. And dear listeners, please support India Animal Fund and donate and volunteer.
Thank you.
And we will put the link to the India Animal Fund website in the show notes. What is your vision for India Animal Fund in the future?
Okay, my goal or my dream for India Animal Fund is to say, with our collective efforts, with the message going out, with the support of the word that is going out through events like this, through broadcasts like this, etc., we should be able to bring in a sizable amount of money into the welfare space. Right? Like I told you, we get a fraction of the money that comes in for philanthropic reasons or causes. Just moving the needle there and saying, can at least 5% of that money be set aside for anything that helps animals would be a great blessing, great step forward. So my target would be every 2 years, we should be able to double the money that is coming into animal welfare. And if we can do that, I would consider it a job well done. That's what I dream of IAF.
Wow, I hope that happens, and I think it will happen because you're doing such a good job and with helping all the animals and making sure they don't suffer.
Thank you. I hope your words come true.
Yeah, I think they will. From a background in marketing and advertising, how do you enter this line of work?
Well, I don't think the background made any difference. I think it's the exposure I got by picking up dogs off the street when I saw them injured. That's where my journey with animals started. And then slowly from one animal to another animal, we started realizing, learning a lot more, participating in various events, getting to know people like your father. Just exposed us to a lot more than we knew in my earlier days, right? So I've been in this space for about 13 years, 14 years now, and I'm glad I'm here in this space. I only wish I had done this 20 years ago. I could have done a lot more for them. Yeah, and I think since you mentioned marketing and advertising, it just helped me understand communication better. So I'm able to use the competence that I built in my corporate career to put in use for animals. So the animals are the reason I'm here.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter where in life you start. It only matters how much you help.
Oh, that's sweet of you. Thank you.
I want to help animals too.
Wow. Starting at this age, I can't believe how much you'll be able to. I just can't imagine how many animals you would have helped in your lifetime. Congratulations.
Thank you. How did you get into marketing and advertising?
My father used to curse me in school days for getting very poor marks. He used to keep saying that the kind of marks you get, you're only going to end up like one lousy executive in an advertising agency. And that's how I landed up, I think. Well, I think that was one area that seemed to be exciting. I'm a man of restless energy. I need to keep doing something, need to keep doing something new. And I think advertising offered me that. It was almost impossible not to do something new in advertising every day. And that's how I landed up there. And that's the spirit I carry with me everywhere. I need to keep doing something new and interesting. Is that one of your dreams too? Do you dream of getting into the advertising space?
No, I don't know what I want to do actually. I actually don't know. But right now I like cars a lot, so I'm thinking of being either a race car driver or a car designer.
Wow, that's
Or
the aspiration.
or help animals.
Hmm. I'm sure you can do both.
Yeah, I think I can.
You must find a job or find a profession that allows you to earn a lot of money, so you can help a lot more animals. Without that, you can't. You can only do that much.
Yeah. I I think either a car designer or a race car driver will get me enough money to help animals.
Lovely. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. What did you want to be as a child?
Well, I wish I had the clarity that youngsters like you have today. I don't know if I went back 40 years in my life, 35 years in my life, if I would have ever had somebody ask me a question, what I want to be. I don't know. All I can remember now, Vedant, when I was your age, I thought the best thing to be is to be an adult. And now, after having become an adult, I always thought being a child was a lot better. So I really didn't pursue any great ambitions or career choices. I just let life take me the path that it took me, and I landed up where I am. So I've been a man of allowing every day to pass like a new day, and that's how it's been for me. So nothing, no such clarity and no such dreams.
For me, I'm the opposite of you. I do not want to become an adult.
Lucky you. Stay that way. I'm sure it's a lot fun being a child than an adult.
Yes, it is. It's very fun.
Good. Make the most of it.
What are your hobbies?
What are my hobbies? I think it's been a little too late in my life to carry over too many hobbies, and I don't have the time given the work on one side, animal welfare on the other side, rescues and my pets on the other side. Some of the hobbies that I still carry with me, Vedant, first is music. I listen to a lot of music. My latest fad is with Sufi music. So I spend a lot of time relaxing, unwinding. It's playing all the time and I'm alone. So music is something that drives me. The second is something that I carry from my childhood, which is I love comics. So I'm still a great fan of Calvin and Hobbes, Asterix and Obelix. I read all of them. I read them again and again and again. And they inspire me and energize me a lot. These are the two hobbies that I carry from my younger days. My newest hobby is to become self-reliant in food. So I've been experimenting with a lot of gardening. So I have a large garden and I take care of nurturing a lot of fruits and vegetables there. So that's my latest hobby. I spend a lot of time learning everything about plant life.
Yeah, I really like listening to music and reading comics. Those are really nice things to do.
Thank you. Nice to have company there. Are you an Asterix or a Calvin fan too?
Yeah, I like Calvin and Hobbes.
All right. Good. What about Asterix and Obelix?
Yeah, I also read that.
Okay.
My mother also really likes it, so we have the entire series. Thank you so much for coming on my show. I really enjoyed speaking to you, and congratulations on all the good work you're doing, and the animals will be very happy.
Thank you so much for bringing this to the attention of your listeners, Vedant. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure. You've been my youngest host in among all the podcasts I've done so far. And I really enjoyed doing this with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I really learned a lot. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, Vedant. You have fun.
Yeah, and dear listeners, once again, please support India Animal Fund and support animals. Dear listeners, follow my Facebook page, Curious Vedant, to get updates on my upcoming episodes. To listen at leisure on your phone and get notified about future episodes, subscribe by searching for Curious Vedant wherever you get your podcasts, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can also listen to my show on curiousvedant.com. Thank you for listening to Curious Vedant, and don't forget to rate and leave comments.